It's strong.
All right, we are going to keep it moving. It looks like we are ready. We got a thumbs up, Keegan. All right, let's keep it rolling. The show must go on. That's a tough act to follow, Erica. As we are now joined by Erica Demers, head coach of the women's soccer program, and that's Nico. Nico brings the energy, brings the juice.
He does. I just saw him on the way. I'd asked him if he wanted to do double time with you guys. But I got shut down, unfortunately. So you guys have to deal with me now, unfortunately.
No, where's our producer to get this name fixed for you?
Hold on.
Yeah, I think Aaron's dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. That when we did this a couple years ago, we had less issues to deal with kids coming home from school. Yeah. And things of that nature, but
I'll have one walking through the door shortly.
Right. It changes the dynamic of being live for 10 hours when you got kids walking around. But let's get it started.
Oh my gosh!
That's my teenager from the other room, from the clouds.
It's confirmed.
We are now joined by Erica Demers, women's head soccer coach for the Go Bearcats program. And Erica, welcome to the show. It is we are 4.5 hours in, and we've got 5.5 hours to go here on 513 Day. We're going till 10 o'clock tonight. Welcome in and give us an overview. You're as you come in and getting accustomed to things and taking over the program. How are things now?
Yeah, well, number one, thank you guys first for doing this for UC, and it's amazing. And I can't believe you guys are going to be doing this for 10 hours. So kudos to all of you. I don't think I would have the ability to be doing this for 10 hours, but that's probably why I picked coaching instead. So yeah, it's been about 1.5 years now. It'll be 1.5 years next month, which has been crazy. I think anytime you take over a program, it's a whirlwind. It goes by so fast, right? So we just finished up our second spring now with the team. Really good spring. You know, we just talk a lot about our growth and getting better each and every single day. So it's been crazy, but it's been good. A lot of chaos, a lot of adaptability. But it's been really remarkable so far to be a part of this community. Number one, you know, I think since day one, it's been arms wide open for myself, my staff, my players, the changes that we've been trying to implement, the facility updates that we're trying to do, all of that, right? So we can stay within the ranks of the Big 12. So it's been, yeah, it's been awesome. I've seen a lot of change so far in the first, you know, I think it's been 17 months. So it's been great. It's been great.
We talked to Molly about the level of play in the Big 12 with women's volleyball. What is that step up in level of play in Big 12 women's soccer like? And how tough is it in year one, kind of adjusting your sight lines into how difficult it is?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I think it's very similar to volleyball. I think all of our sports, right, are seeing that is the level of play is just a totally different, you know, animal when it comes from the American. So I think for us, you know, this past fall, we were just looking at, can we be in every single game? And that to us just meant not, you know, losing games by 4-5-0. We just wanted to be in every single game. And then the second thing was to make the tournament, the Big 12 tournament. And fortunately, we were able to do both of those tasks. So next year, it's just going to be how do we, you know, turn that up even more and keep moving forward. But I mean, the Big 12 is no joke. You know, I think BYU, obviously they're, for us, a powerhouse for women's soccer. I think when we got to play against them, they were, I think, 5th in the nation when we went there to play against them. Texas Tech is another great program as well. So we've got a lot of top-ranked opponents in our, you know, who we have to play against every single day. So I love it. You know, that's a big reason why I came here. I love that competitiveness, and I love not, you know, just kind of putting ourselves out there and seeing every single day what we can do and, you know, compete against some of the best players in, you know, in the nation.
Now, you talked about next year. You're bringing back 3 big players in Anna Redford, Ellie Flower, and Lauren Bastian. Mm-hmm. What do they bring to your team, and how special was it for you to be able to retain them, as is a push that basically every college coach has to make?
Yeah, it was huge keeping them, honestly. That was, some of those phone calls are kind of nerve-wracking because, you know, some of them are ready for life too, you know. But retaining them was huge. You know, retaining them was huge because they bring experience. And not only that, but they just bring the drive to compete and want to get better every single day. And, it's huge having them back. It really is. So like I know Anna was a big one for us. When she called me, I was like, I think I started sweating on the phone. I'm like, is she staying? Is she not staying? So thankfully she stayed. But yeah, those three are huge. I think for them, they were deciding if they were going to come back for, their senior years before our staff got to take over. So the fact that we're getting them for 2 years is unbelievable. And I know that they have a pretty sour taste in their mouth, losing in the 89th minute to Texas Tech in the second round of the Big 12 tournament. So I know for them, they're super hungry, coming back for year 2.
Mm-hmm. And you also have Vanessa Giles is playing for Team Canada. How special was that experience, being able to go up and watch her?
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. We always try to find something, unique for our players to do, because I think the off the field stuff is super important to build your culture. And what's better than going to see, 4 dominant nations play. And then on top of that, get to meet Vanessa Giles in person, and, we got her jersey and go on the field and all of that and get a picture with her. So our players were so thankful. And that piece of gratitude is huge when you're dealing with college players and people right now. So, but what an experience. I mean, the amount of texts and, things that we got back from the players just saying how grateful they were and how thankful for. They're like, they've never had anything done like this for us before. So, I mean, it was huge that we had the ability to do that.
And we kind of talked about retaining players and the transfer portal, and even just moving on with life. How is the transfer portal kind of benefiting the team right now? Is that a big part of your roster construction, or is it a lot of just trying to keep the same players, or we're bringing in high school players?
I'd say for us going into year 2, I think year 1 was definitely more evident that we needed more transfers, but I'm really big about development, within our program. And I want our team to be our team, so we're not having this change in our roster, minus your freshmen, obviously, but I want our players to develop as they go through their years here at Cincinnati. So, for us, yes, we are looking at some transfers this coming year. Well, right now actually, but if we bring in 1, I'll be happy. If we bring in 2, great. But I love that the roster that we're bringing back is the roster that I want to compete with in, for next season in the Big 12. So, yeah, I would say not as heavy as it was for us last year. But, moving forward, you always want to have, 1 or 2, because it just helps experience and where they may be played at, just a different level, all of that. But I love the roster that we have coming in for our next season in the Big 12.
That's awesome.
New turf. How excited are you to get new playing surface?
I'm going to sleep on that turf the first day it's installed. So, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so thankful for the, administrators to put the time into that and the money into that for us, because that was something that definitely needed to happen. And, it's still going to be our stadium and our field, and it's still going to give us that home field advantage. But, man, we needed that upgrade big time.
There's a lot of feet on that turf.
A lot
throughout a school year with intramurals and everything else that goes on. How different is that for you as a coach, getting used to the fact that, unlike most places at Cincinnati, everything's open to everybody. Everybody can use it whenever the heck they want.
Yeah. You know what? It's a love-hate relationship. I'll be honest. Like, I love the fact that we do allow that here. I think that puts us, sets us apart from a lot of different schools. Like, for a kid that's going to school here saying, oh, I can go play football on the actual football field, I'm like, that's remarkable. Like, a lot of people don't do that. I don't allow that. Right. Like, same thing with our field. Like, if you're going to feel like a better soccer player training on our field or playing on our field, go for it, but then obviously there's the other parts to it too, where, I just want people to love it as much as we love it, and take care of it as much as we, take care of it as well. But you're not going to get that every single day. But I'd say a love-hate relationship.
You said what, a year and a half you've been here? So what are your year and a half past 5-1-3 day? What are your thoughts on Cincinnati and everything that you've been able to really take in since your time here?
Yeah, I have fallen in love with this city. I think Cincinnati is an easy city, in my opinion, to fall in love with. I've always wanted to live in a sports town. I grew up in Canada, and for me, it was hockey. I'm a huge, I hate to say this, but I'm a huge Maple Leafs fan. And
tough.
I know.
That OT. Oh, man.
I know, my God. We just can't do it. We can't do it. So I love sports, and I think that some of my former institutions that I had the opportunity to work at, we just didn't have that same passion and love in the city and the community. So I come here now and I'm like, it's rare that you pass by someone that doesn't have a Cincy hat on or a Cincy shirt on or Bearcats. And I love that. Or traveling and then people are like, hey, go Bearcats. And I'm like, go Bearcats. Like, that's awesome. So I think this is an easy city to fall in love with because of the sports, the backing, that the public gives you. Love or hate doesn't really matter. I feel like they back you no matter what. And I've like I said, I've fallen in love with the city easily.
So for those that aren't familiar with your team, what is the kind of identity that you like to instill in your teams? What kind of culture do you build as a coach?
Yeah, so we actually have this kind of saying for our program. It's called Clifton Confidence. So the way that we've kind of brought that up is, Clifton obviously being where we are, and how we feel like Cincinnati has grown, that blue collar kind of grind to it. And then confidence, I think, for our players was something from day one that, they had either expressed to us or, people that had knew the program just kind of said it was lacking. So for us, that's kind of our where we kind of make everything happen every single day is this Clifton Confidence CC. We say it before every single training session. But I'm just a huge advocate for confidence in general. I think that sometimes is, half the battle in terms of your players feeling ready and confident to go into any game they want. So with what it is, BYU with 5,000 screaming fans, they feel okay to go against them and be okay with it. So that's kind of the backbone for right now for our program, but we're just in the beginning phases, to be honest, with building our culture. We have a lot of work to do. We've done a lot of work to this point right now. But the next is now going to be living that, every single day and actually making it come to life for us.
Gotcha.
We're big on confidence here too. It's usually irrational. But
Fair.
we make it work. We make it work.
Not supported by any accomplishments or anything like that.
Right. We can pull off a 10-hour live stream.
Yeah. I wanted to say, I don't know if I'm the first person to say this, but congrats on your commitment today. I don't know the soccer rules. Are you allowed to? Is this a thing you're allowed to talk about, not talk about? But from a high school recruiting standpoint, are there areas that you and your staff have ties to that you recruit? I'm not familiar with what areas of the country are hotbeds for soccer recruiting, but are you trying to stay somewhat in the Midwest area, in the Cincinnati area, or do you guys branch out internationally and anywhere that you have relationships to find players?
Yeah, I think for us right now, we're looking to turn over every single stone right now to find the best players. Obviously, Ohio is a hotbed for soccer. Our state is. So that's a good thing for us. There's a lot of good clubs here. So we want to try to keep the best kids, coming home, number one, and then keeping them, to our program, coming to our program. So, but right now we're looking everywhere, and I can't say where this player is from per rules, but she'll be another great addition to our 2025 class, which has grown quite a bit, which we're really excited about. I think sometimes when you start, you think you're only going to bring in like a 5 to 6, player class, and now we're at 10. So that just changes, based on your roster and where we're kind of at, and where we now having a first season under our belts, the type of player that we need. So we just, we're going to add to make sure that we feel super strong moving forward. But yeah, we go everywhere. I'm actually leaving for Canada on Thursday for an event this coming weekend as well. So yeah, we will recruit anywhere, overseas, Canada, Northwest, East, South, you name it, we will be there.
One final question before we let you go. I know you're on a tight timeline, but women's soccer, women's basketball, women's volleyball, there is an explosion of women's sports and awareness and viewers and eyeballs and attention. How exciting is that as someone that's been in this world for a long time? Women's soccer probably saw it a little bit before anybody because of the stage the World Cup allows, but is it empowering to see, like, all across the board, that bar just continues to rise?
100%. I talk to our players about that all the time, is where we are now as women in sport to where it was, it's drastically different. So they are, they're living in a world right now where there's more privilege for them being at this level, and being a woman at this level. So we talk about that a lot, and then obviously being grateful to be a part of it. Right. So that's a huge deal too, is being grateful for what they have. So we talk about it a lot. I think for us, goal for, us versus hopefully Xavier in the future is to play at the TQL Stadium downtown. And can we sell out that stadium? We've seen other programs do it, Nebraska volleyball, Like you've seen other women's sports do it, and I'm like, why can't we do that here? You know, and I know I think it's like only a 25,000 seat stadium, but a 25,000 seat stadium for a college soccer game, I will take that any day. So that for me in the future is something that I'm really hoping that we can do here.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Be awesome. It gets loud there too. Rowdy.
I know.
Well, thanks for coming in, Coach. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
of course.
it.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Coach. Erica Demers, women's soccer.